All right, welcome back to TV5 News at 9, everyone. It is time now for Medical Moments with Covenant Healthcare. And joining us this morning, we have Stephanie Hill. Stephanie, thanks so much for being here. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm great. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you. So we are actually talking about something very important in our community, the Mary Free Bed at Covenant Center for Autism. So you do work for us for that. Can you tell us a little bit about your role there?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Stephanie. I'm a behavior analyst with Mary Free Bed at Covenant Center for Autism now. And my role in the Autism Center is that I supervise ABA therapy. And what that is it's a unique one-on-one therapy that these kids who have the autism diagnosis get. And I have the privilege to work with these kiddos, so that's my role.
What kind of stuff do you do with them?
So we are able to work in this one-on-one capacity where we are able to individualize based on their needs. So we work on all those skills of that they're going to need to transition into a typically developing classroom. So we know that kids on the spectrum struggle with socialization and communication, and just behaviors in general. So we work on that, you know, in a one-to-one capacity, but we also get to do that with their peers and kind of put them in those groups as well. So it's really it's a really awesome privilege that I have.
It's great to hear.
Yeah.
So, you know, with the autism, and we might know what that looked like, but what can you tell us about the clinical definition? Why should we know that?
Sure. Yeah, and I think what people don't know or understand is that autism is so unique. To one person, it may look completely different than someone else who has a diagnosis of autism. So I think that's where people really get hung up, because two people may have the diagnosis and it may present completely differently. So a lot of the times I think what people will look for and we notice right away are those, you know, those true signs and symptoms where, you know, they're not responding to their name, maybe they're not making direct eye contact, or you have those maladaptive behaviors where, you know, you just feel like you're just not communicating with your child. Those are kind of those real flags where, you know, you, as a parent, you start to have those concerns.
And would you say those are kind of the main factors to look for? I
think those are some of those things that you end up seeing right away. A lot of those are pretty prominent, but again, everybody is different, you know. And I have some of these kiddos that are you know, nonverbal, but they can tell you everything they need to tell you, you know, on a device like what you have right now.
Yeah.
You know, to where I have other kids that are completely verbal, but maybe just need to work on how to sit in a classroom and behave and work with their friends. So those are some of the things that we get to work on, but is unique and awesome. And I always say that is kind of a privilege that we get this one-on-one, where, you know, in a school system, you can get kind of lost by the wayside in that capacity, to where kids on the spectrum maybe just need that a little bit more prompting and a little bit more support in order to be successful. So.
Very good.
Yeah.
So if someone or a parent or caregiver does notice that in their child, what would you say is the next step for them?
The next step is to absolutely reach out to your healthcare provider. Talk to your family physician, your pediatrician. They can get you the referral that you need, because that is the absolute next step, is to getting that eval done. And I think sometimes people will, you know, will wait, but if you see those signs and symptoms, you know, it's important to just get it checked out. What we do know is that early intervention is key. We know that getting somebody in and being able to provide those supports right away, even sometimes before it was time for them to go to kindergarten or preschool, can be really critical for them, and being able to provide that. So
that's good to hear. So there is a Center for Autism in Bay City. Is that providing different services? What's the center like?
So our center, for my population, we work with kids between the ages of 2 and 8. So the ABA, you know, you can get ABA all the way up until you're an adult. But for us, we focus on those I always say like preschool skills, but we're not a preschool, but we work on those, you know, those skills that are needed to transition into school and to be successful to do that. So, you know, our day is actually structured a lot like a school. We're 8 to 4. A lot of times they come to us instead, and they are able to you know, work one-on-one with an RBT, and they work on different things like tactics, so like labeling things and manding. That's the biggest thing. It's just working on functional communication, because that's where, you know, we see the biggest deficit and the biggest gains is when you're able to communicate your needs with someone. You know, you see those decrease in maladaptive behavior. So
just sitting here, and you've already said it is a privilege to do what you do.
Yes.
And we're glad to have you in our community.
Yeah, thank you.
So why do you love to do what you do?
You know what? I'm going to be really selfish. It is so rewarding. It is so rewarding, and we make a difference. You know, what we do is impacting it's impacting little lives and their future. So, you know, different, not less. We say that all the time. I think that's one of the biggest things is that these kids are brilliant. They are absolutely brilliant and they're our future. So I just have the right and privilege to do that. And who wouldn't want to do that? So.
Well, your passion is exuding from you, from sitting right here next to you, so it's really great.
Thank you. Yeah, it was great.
Anytime, you're welcome to come in and share more. So
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. If you would like more information on today's topic at home, just head over to the Hot Links page on our website, WNEM.com.